hadn't done a vlog in a while. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a hassle now, but it's like sort of my interface, as I've said before, has a real simple problem that unless I do some really ridiculously silly routing and software that takes a few minutes to set up, it comes out in mono. Then I've got to do post-production on on a video log, which basically it's, Eric's World, party time. One of the things that's kind of neat, I've just learned so much about myself and everything from this this YouTube thing I've been doing. It's 8:42 p.m. I just noticed I need to buy some more cigarettes or I'm going to go nuts. Saturday, September 15, 2012. But one of the things I've learned is that the draw to my music but also Metallica and AC/DC and Motley Crue, whose fans are excellent, by the way. Them and Neil Young, I contacted oodles of their fans, and almost all of them either subscribed or commented. It's crazy. I mean, not all of them, but a large amount of them. You would think that those would be sort of the roughest people, but not true. But really what that drew to my mind was that they, and I knew this, and I think we all see this in their music and their videos, and hear it in their music and see it in their videos, but there's a grittiness and a certain real life dirtiness to these guys that I never really paid that much attention to. And I think that's one of the draws with me, is people can see, oh, this guy, and believe me, I am definitely gritty these days, but people can see, well, this guy really is a real thing. And so anyway, I mean, I noticed, like, I was looking at the commonalities of some of the people that rate, subscribe, and comment, and that grittiness, and I've always liked that. And even when I worked in the music business, I like to think I maintained a grittiness. I went through a couple of years where I used to like buy Armani suits, and I had a girl that would, a style and fashion consultant that would go with me and tell me what was sort of tacky and what was, and I know by eye as well, but just kind of give me input and crap like that. But I outgrew that. I mean, a couple of years of that $2,000 suit deal. But pretty much I was combat or cowboy boots, blue jeans, and sort of no matter what I was going through. But yeah, I'm all alone here, and I really have been for the last few years at least. I don't really even talk to other people that much. And before I forget, I'll say it again, what an incredible gift that is, this whole thing. I'm going to say that is this YouTube experience. If somebody wrote me from Antarctica, posted a great comment late last night when I was really getting burned out, and I thought, my God, I used to video conference with a guy down there, and I thought it was him, so I posted on his site, but he didn't get back. But he put a great comment about how he was really happy to find my site, and happy I contacted him, and how he ordinarily just despised that sort of thing, and he took a chance, and he was really happy. The comment was really clever. It was on Portishead Roads, and honestly, I never really hadn't looked at it since I did it, and then a lot of comments come in an email form on that one, and I remember the intention I had for it, and you always hope for the best, and your intentions as a producer and what happens are two different affairs, but I'm always have been pretty good at that, and I'm getting a lot better, I think, now, although people seem to think so. But yeah, watching that one, I was like, I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I saw it when he posted that last night, I had to go there to get his address, reply or something, and I watched that video, and I must say I'm proud of that. That is like, wow, that came out really good, and it you hope for the best, and I meant for it to come out good, but I mean, and when you're tired of something, or have done it 1,000 times in a couple of days, it's hard to know. But yeah, I was proud of that. That came out really good. It's worth looking at. I've done like 3 songs. I did a version of Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home with all keyboards, which, before you laugh, I was going through mixes over the last couple of days. I normally do a whole bunch of mixes, and then the most important thing I do is sit back and put them on and walk around and listen to them as I'm doing other stuff. And mixes came up. It's like, yeah, that's professional, but there's nothing cool, magical about it or anything. That's professional. Yeah, that's okay, just okay. Passable. Then 3 of them came up. One of them came up, and I was like, wow, that is it. That sounds really, it adds something to the song, which is hard to add to that song anyway. But it's with organs, and at the first, and then has the kick-ass drums and everything. But it's just, that's neat. And then I did The Cure, Just Like Heaven, and I struggled with that until I started doing the remix late last night. I always try to do a remix, and I thought, well, this is coming out. I got to turn the AC up. By the way, I've lost 33 pounds since I started doing this. I was overweight, I guess. But I found I always do a bunch of mixes, because and as I'm doing them, I used to stop and listen to them after I did them, and a little now, but just for referencing. But I started doing a remix of my version of that, and I found the mix. Listening back, I was like, it came out really nice. But in the remixes, I think the thing is that you feel free. A lot of guys, I love remixes. I love covers. I love remixes. They're all covers. Really make me feel like I'm as much as part of the artistic process as the person who wrote the song, and really, I put as much or more work into recording and mixing the covers than I do originals, and I feel like sometimes, man, I'm doing all this work, I should somehow get paid from this, and eventually, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm going to eventually release an album in 5.1 at least, if not 7.1, with HD video and interviews and commentary and crap and little short films to sell, because I've had, I could have sold like 50 or 100 copies in the last couple of months, and at even $10 a shot, that's something. And that's sort of the way unenlightened people keep score of things. It's not like, oh man, you're doing such, really neat, incredible, wonderful work. No, they're always like, oh yeah, my friend Mia I was wondering who was watching my video log. Actually, some people do, so I'm trying to make them, but bear with me, because the emails got to where I can't really pay attention. But no, what they always say is, I think and sometimes it's to kind of get at you a little bit. It's like, they're not saying, oh wow, you've taken time out of your life and just stopped everything to sort of record the songs that were the soundtrack to your life. No, it's not like that. It's like, whoa, you're making any money at that, mister? It's like, oh, fuck you. Shut the fuck up. You don't get it. You really don't get it. Making any money? Yeah, that's an easy shot. And I used to be one of those guys when I was a business owner. It was all about, oh, you're making any money at that? And I can't tell you how many times people wanted to start a business and would be like, so I've got this idea for a business, and we want you to give us, or me, $100,000 to get started. And one thing I learned about business was, if you work long and hard enough to put the investment money together to start the business, you have enough time. It's just important because that way you're fully invested in it, and you're not, and make it profitable from day one. And start. You can start with other people's money, but no, so many people, I'm like, wanted me to loan them money to start businesses like I had, be a competitor or something, I guess. But I always said no, and really the reason was, it's like, you just want to, like everything else in the world, just jump to the head of the line and take the easy shortcuts. So anyway, I made my businesses. I started on a 4-track cassette tape machine, and at $10 an hour, and that bought the rest of the gear, and it moved up and up and up until it was, working with some of the top people in the world with the best gear in the world, kind of thing. Took a few years, like that took like a total of 3 to 5 years. Another friend of mine did that in Los Angeles. Started with a 4-track cassette and ended up owning Interlock Studios, which does all these mega, Arnold Schwarzenegger and TV. It's just a huge studio, but same thing, and it paid for itself along the way. If I would have said, hey, give me $100,000 to start a bit, and got it, I wouldn't have learned jack diddly. And I also think there's a certain shortcut sort of arrogance. I just want to say dickhead, douchebag, dreamer, childlike innocence and arrogance of those people who have failed businesses, and when they borrowed money, then wonder why. But anyway, I got off on a tangent. It just is important for so many reasons to start slow, or not even start slow, but start self-supporting from day one and build from there in business. Mia wrote me a little letter, my friend Mia, and said, and another person doesn't even know her at all. The emails are just flying by. I saw today, like, she wrote me something about Mia, so you're famous, Mia. Hooray. Well, sort of. What struck me about these vlogs is they're sort of like freeze-dried thoughts, and that's what Mia wrote me. She said she prefers this way of communication, and it's funny because I wrote down the vlog, my preferred method of communication, this morning, and I've been thinking about that intensely for weeks now, a long time. And the reason is, I think, that people like them is that they can put them on and communicate with someone else, and sort of freeze-dried. And I think in the future this will be big. Imagine space travel at the speed of light. It takes like 2 years for a transmission to get through any distance at all. I think it's 2 years. No, I don't know how far it is to Mars, but at our current rate of travel, it's 2 years, but which is not the speed of light. But anyway, you're a couple light years out. Yeah, you might not hear from people you know and love for years at a time, but these freeze-dried little videos are something. But it also adds a dimension of the end user can take it in when they feel like it. Like if I want to get into somebody's vlog at 1 in the morning, I can't wake them up, or 3 or 5 in the morning. I've been mixing, and I'm shot, and I'm sweating, and it's smuggy, and I'm bleary-eyed, and I need to mellow out with something. I'll put on a vlog sometimes, and it allows me to control when and how loud, and I can pause. I can't in a conversation say, oh, wait a minute, man, stop, freeze. I'm gonna go for another, clear my head for 10 minutes and come back. It doesn't work like that. So I think the person like myself making a vlog can express themselves in the way that they like, and say what they want to say effectively without being interrupted, by the way, was an important factor. And the listener can choose to take it in, and I think that's so much more of an effective way. Mia actually wrote my preferred way of conversation, and the thing with her is that she's somewhat like me. She has shades of bipolar disorder, and live in person most of the time she's really hard to communicate with because she's so yeah, you know, and she's great, but I'm like, I can be like that too. And with people who are in recovery, one of the things is that there's a yo-yo effect when you come off of drugs and alcohol, and I've been there many times, where it makes it seem as I have never been diagnosed bipolar. I definitely have major depression, but when you're coming off of drugs and alcohol, there's a bounce back thing where a person might, you know, chatter incessantly, and this is a fucking vlog. I kind of have to do that, so don't go, well, you're chattering incessantly, yeah, whatever, jackass. But you know, and also I'm a person who's had a lot of, I took care of 2 extremely bipolar girlfriends that lived with me, and then I had training in that area and so on, and anyway, there's a bounce back effect when you come off of central nervous system depressant drugs, where it will seem like, and I have had shades of like I was chemically altered and bipolar anyway. A bipolar person tends to talk and not listen at all, and it's difficult for them to learn anything, and they do stuff like spending sprees, and they just won't stop, and they can't take in any information. But with these vlogs, a person can slow down and take it in when they're ready to take it in, because me is really difficult to communicate with in person. And the same with my mom. My mom, I've studied her behavior over the last couple of years, and I didn't know her for 30 years, and after sort of having a lot of experience and training and stuff in that area, I was able to immediately go, oh, mom has, you know, bipolar sort of disorder, and is, and by the way, if your parent has it, you're much more likely to have it, much more likely. Either one of your parents. If both do, it's almost a shoe-in. But it's frustrating with my mom because she came by drunk and the other night and tried to hand me I came closer to her place now, because I don't really know her. For 30 years, she doesn't know me at all, and I don't really know her at all. I kind of do, but not really. She's my mom and all that, but as far as daily stuff, no. But she came by late, pounding on the door, was drunk, and trying to hand me a thing of scotch. And I was like, no, Mom, remember, I'm the guy that doesn't drink or use drugs at all, and nearly died from same. And in fact, you know, you drove me to rehab embarrassingly a couple of times, and I was trying to show her some of my work, which she's completely unaware of the levels that I've been at and worked on, and she's not into music like most people, not most people, but the people who are like me into it are. And besides handing me the thing of booze, trying to, I was like, no, I've told you over and over again, I don't do that anymore. She didn't know that, and that was like, she hadn't been paying attention because of these sort of shades of bipolar disorder it's sort of DSM classic, but it goes further. I mean, anyone who, if you watch someone's behavior, if they tend to go really sort of talking a mile a minute and very like up in a conversation, and then the next sentence they're sort of tearing up over something, that's really a good indicator that like they're sort of on a roller coaster. And not always, you can't, it's difficult to generalize with these things, but that's a real good indicator for me. And I like to think, just like with some other skills and stuff, I have a pretty good feel for that kind of thing. But yeah, and then I tried to show Mom. She'd never seen a video she's in, and people around the world say they wept when they watched it all. And it was just sort of, she just doesn't get it. And I realized, oh, she doesn't have the background on me or music and isn't into it, or capacity to understand what this is I'm doing, that I'm building a career. Even if at this point, I could already sell quite a few albums. Uh, oh, New Zealand, and I really like them. I like that movie, Once Were Warriors. They wrote me these two girls, and she did a great job. Deidre Music. She did a great job on a song, and I commented, and but anyway, yeah, I mean, it's kind of frustrating. I began to realize the public in general, will understand me and know me better than my mom. People who've watched my videos and stuff will, and get it, really get it. There's different types of people, but some people you'll never reach, and that's my mom. I thought she would just think that's the greatest thing, but no, and that's okay. But it also kind of hurts, But I think also, though, the thing about YouTube as well is that it allows each person to have a sense of control, the thing that we are all looking for in life, whether we know it, and I didn't know that for a long time, or want to admit it, and that is we're looking for control on it. It's sort of like personalized TV. I think that's another part of the appeal. And so I think that to get it, to really get something emotional or something kick-ass even, you need to be in control of your mouse, your computer, sitting down alone privately, and then experience this thing privately, and you go, oh my gosh, I've seen a window into something really cool, I'll use the word sublime view. I saw somebody from Brazil sent me just a 30-second clip of a train station, and it was the official clip of a train station, like a lonely train station with waiting in an underground tunnel with sweltering people and nobody talking and just everybody wanting to go, and the train, it was that thing, perfectly shot on a video camera or a cell phone. Oh, I got parts today. I've ordered another camera. One of the things that's sort of impressive about what I've been doing is it's all been done with a webcam and fancy After Effect editing and post-production. And one of the things that makes things work for me is that people will stick with, on a technical note and just a sort of obvious note, people will stick with a movie or a video that has great sounding audio and horrible video, but they won't even stick a few seconds on something with horrible, grating, painful audio and great video. They just won't. And so that's an important factor here. If you listen to some of the things I've done on a proper big stereo, which I don't have here, I'm not mixing on one, and that's fine. But if you listen to it on a big stereo, it will sound really huge. But I have a lot of experience at making things sound huge like that. It's from hundreds of years of messing with it. But yeah, I mean, the main thing as far as mixing music, and that I already knew and that anybody doing it should know and learn, is that reference against something that sounds great, that's like your track, or not like it but sounds great, and listen to your track. And the thing that I'm most interested in now is low mids, mid-range, low mids, and how normally those are like forbidden frequencies. You have to sweep through and notch out 400 hertz, not notch, but sort of gently sweep it out on most stuff, and those boxy sounding frequencies. But if you're careful and compress just right, just on those frequencies, frequency dependent compression, and then amp it up a little bit, it starts modulating with the frequencies. The resultant harmonics of the low mids sweep through the entire mix and sort of give it a pleasant sort of chorus like calliope type uh, thing that makes it really pleasant. And the other thing I've learned, really learned and relearned for the millionth time and newly learned is like that grading sounds, according to Fletcher Munson again, and to your ear, cut through and don't need to be nearly as loud as the other ones to cut through a mix, and should be really ever so slightly notched off of any mix, or again, not notched, but dipped slightly and gently with a Q on each side of the EQ that spreads out and gently sort of just, not like a notch, but like a Q on the EQ, the bell curve. Gentle, but just a slight bit of taking that out of certain things. It can take away the presence, but it also adds a listenability. And I don't do any particular formula on any. There's a different thing for every mix, but there's some things you can. Sometimes those shrill things are great, but I use no formulas on anything. Everything's sort of like starting over, and then what sounds good, and that's important. It's not what the meters say, it's what sounds good. I mean, it's crazy. I can, it's like 9 o'clock. I gotta catch the store before they close. I can now hear one of my mixes the other day. I accidentally somehow took the master fader down by 0.1 dB, and I went and did something else, and I came back and I hit it, and I was like, something is wrong here, and I kept listening around. I go, no, I did a minute in, I was like, something is wrong, and I tried it again. I was like, something's wrong, and I never messed with the master. And then I went and looked at it, and I was like, let me look at every fader, every bus, everything. And I looked at it, like, it was 0.1 down. But even compressing something now, the magic in mixes, I found that master was 0.1 down, and it made this huge difference in the mix. But what I'm noticing now is mixing, the magic happens, and not 1 decibel, it was 0.1. I can hear it when I'm compressing or EQing now. The slightest difference, the magic in a mix is, and I haven't really posted anything stunningly magical. There's some good stuff, but nothing, wow, incredibly amazing. And I'm capable of that. I'm sure I'll get to it, and people might think it sucks. I don't know, but the difference in a great mix and a super great mix that's an eternal work, and just a sort of passable mediocre mix is like 0.1 dB on certain instruments in certain ranges. Just 0.1 more definition on the bass makes the mix wow, and or somewhere around usually 100 to 400 hertz, or guitar somewhere around 2K, between 15 and 25. 1 dB makes that huge difference. Vocals 1K. The male vocal, you can warm it up at 800 hertz. It's centered around there. 800 hertz female vocal at 1K. But just all these little things is what I'm saying that I was aware of and could kind of hear, but now whenever I'm mixing, it seems like life happens and these slight little differences. And I just found that amazing. It's like people will go, you can't hear 0.1 dB, and I'm like, yeah, I can, now, because you shouldn't be able to. Everything in the universe can be measured by its frequency, its amplitude, and its waveform. And they say humans can hear it from 20 hertz to 20,000 cycles per second. And that's true. But a lot of people say, well, you can't hear 20K at a certain age. I guarantee you give anything enough amplitude beyond 20K, and you become aware of it, and you can hear it even sometimes, enough amplitude. And the same on the low end. We may not hear certain low frequencies, but we're aware of them. And that awareness is sort of what makes it feel like, oh, that has kick-ass bass. Those are dangerous because The resultant harmonics of low frequencies will eat up an entire mix. So anyway, I mean, I'm getting more into technical BS instead of where I'm at. I mean, yeah, anyway, my mom just, I don't know what to say, except she doesn't know any better, and I didn't when I was younger until I really learned in business. Your secret weapon is listening. Your enemies will tell you everything they're doing if you just bother to listen. But no, she never listens at all. I told her I had a rare neurological disorder that made me give up a really great life and millions of dollars a year and women and wine and song and fast car, you know. And so I was like, it's serious, Mom. I gave all that up to, like, you know, live alone and be undisturbed and all of this, and I thought she got it. It's like, well, this guy just wouldn't have gave all that up unless he had problems. Like 2 months later, I was like walking around when I was staying with her, and she was like, and I was like, you know, oh yeah, my whole face is just killing me. And she goes, oh, that's still bothering you? And I'm like, 15 years, Mom, incurable. You know, didn't you listen at all? But I mean, really, the point with that is that we all only focus on what's important to us and what's nearest to us. Not because we're really especially, well, some people are selfish, but it's just what we have to do to survive. So, you know, she's just focusing on what she focuses on. And people, my pain psychologist told me one time, pain psychologist I know, that people don't want to hear about your pain. And I wondered why. I got divorced with 3 wives because when I first became started having this neurological condition, which is the most painful thing a human being can experience, I would talk about it all the time because it just blew me away. How could this go on year after year, day after day? It's happening right now. In fact, he said, well, yeah, that drives people away from you. So I've learned not to talk about it much. So anyway, but that focus is funny. It's like, I was just blown away. My mom didn't even realize I don't drink anymore. And that she did get my music or what I'm doing with the whole YouTube thing, or that I've made a video that she's in, and that's okay. But it just goes to show me, like, we all only focus, myself included, on what's nearest to and most important to me. Although I have started to somebody just left a comment on something. I have started to listen much more and but that's why I much prefer these vlogs, is that trying to talk to my mom, I was trying to explain some, you know, what I thought were pretty profound points to her, and I with her, you only get about half a sentence in, and she's one of those people, as I have been and can be, although I'm not as much anymore, she was waiting to talk. So I would be like, well, Mom, what I'm doing is I'm this, and it's pretty profound. No, well, no, Mom, wait, give me a minute. And not just because she's always like that. So, I mean, it's the kind of thing where, oh man, come on, I don't want music on this. Two people now agree that, like, I actually targeted them. I didn't spam them really, but I knew they would like my music. 2 of them now are talking to each other on that song about how glad they are that I spammed them. Anyway, I don't spam people. I honestly don't. I really go through a lot of computer algorithms and time to pick people that I'm positive will like my music based on what they've liked so far and stuff. So it always does work. But yeah, listening. I think it's true. I listen more now because I have a tendency to want to always, when I'm excited about something and listening, I'm like, no, wait, this is this, instead of hearing the completed idea. And that kind of sucks. I had a girlfriend that I would be trying to tell her about something profound or show her a profound something or other, whatever, she would be like, got it. And I'm like, no. I thought that too when I saw the first minute of this 3-minute presentation. You don't at all have it. You really need to listen. Got it. It's like, fuck off. Those people who just, it's like, dude, this is, I've thought this through and I've had several weeks to prepare this. Take the 3 minutes. Look at this thing. It's awesome that somebody else did, I'm just trying to turn you on to it. Got it. Guy playing guitar. Big deal. It's like, no, you don't get it. So yeah, I used to go, got it, and think that I got it. Now I'm more apt now to sort of sit back and go, let me fully listen to and investigate this before I throw in a got it. So anyway, that's part of my growth as a person, has been learning to listen. Like I made up the saying, I think, but it's if you want to make a friend, talk, and if you want to be a friend, listen. And there may be no more important thing that I can do or any of us can do is listen. So, yeah, thanks for listening. These are really for me. I wouldn't blame you if you dropped out 30 minutes ago. So, oh wow, this is huge. 36.